Do you worry about your financial future? I sure hope that you do, because guess what? Those that do think about their financial futures a lot tend to have a much better financial result for their lives. Hi, I'm Nancy McKenna, and I am your midlife money coach. Now, I decided at the age of 35 that I should have a child on my own, and that's because I was getting older, and I thought, you know what, I can always get married later, but I can't necessarily have kids later. So I had a beautiful little boy. And then I thought, well, gosh, I'm one of 7 kids. Being an only child would be awfully lonely. So then I quickly had another child, a beautiful daughter. So I was 37 and I had 2 kids, and I decided I better figure out this money thing because I got kind of a late start. I wasn't that great with my money in my 20s and maybe early 30s. But this one job that I got, this is the company that made those dummies books. Do you remember, like Excel for Dummies, all that? So I worked at this company, and it was full of all these ambitious, like smart people. And that really, they say that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend your time with. Well, I really credit that job with this because the people I worked with, I really started listening to them and thinking about what they're doing. And I started getting really serious about my money, educating myself. Actually, that was before I had the kids because that's the job where I met the father of these kids. So I started on my money journey before I had the kids. Had the kids shortly thereafter. And, I just always worried about money. And I think some of this came from my father because, they had 7 kids and my parents came from working class family, and they were very upwardly mobile. And he was, I guess you could say a bit of a maniac about money, but it rubbed off on me in a good way. So I just studied everything about money. Like, how do you make your money stretch and be frugal, and how do you do all these things so that my kids, because I really didn't want my kids to have student debt, and I wanted to live in a nice home. So that's sort of my parents' model. Nice home, college, everything else is not important. So my kids didn't do expensive sports. They didn't do expensive, music lessons. They, a lot of my clothes didn't come from nice stores and all of that. But you know what? It really paid off because those that pay attention to their money end up keeping more of it. And there are a lot of mistakes people make with their money. And I'm not talking about lower income people. I'm talking about 6-figure earning corporate people that I've worked with. And just, through casual conversations, you hear, how people spend their money. And this one woman I worked with, she was about 50 at the time, and she was in a 20-year marriage. They didn't have kids, but they had this house, and she would say, oh, he's not good with money, blah, blah, blah. And she ended up getting divorced after 20 years. And she had the opportunity for a big do-over about moving down to Florida. And at the time, we thought, oh, Florida's so cheap, because I'm up here in New Jersey, New York area. And so she was like, oh, I'm just going to buy a little townhouse and pay it off. And I said, good for you. That's the right thing to do. So she moved down there. And then fast forward, a year or two, she met another guy. And then she told me one time, she said, oh, he's so much better with his money. But then she said he has 4 cars. I think he had a Porsche, a Jaguar, 65 Mustang, and I forget what the other one was. And I'm like, he doesn't own a home, but he's got thousands of dollars in car payments every month. Yes, I'm judgy, but I mean, come on. I mean, the way people spend money, even the people to me. Funny story, the people that moved in next door to me, turns out the wife is my daughter's doctor. And so I see them, and he's got this huge Ford F-150, and she's got a BMW SUV. And I just think huge car payments. That's what I think when I see these things. But I know I'm judgy. It's terrible. I had a conversation with the husband because they were putting natural gas lines up and down the street. And I was thinking, should I do that? Should I not do that? And he was telling me what his propane bill is like. He said $1,000 a month because his daughters like to take long showers. And I'm like, are you kidding me? when my son would take long showers, I would pound on the door, get out of the shower. Again, a little cuckoo, but I just can't abide waste. But the point is, some people intentionally manage how they spend their money, and other people go, well, what can you do? They want to take a long shower, and my propane bill's $1,000 a month. So that's money you're not saving, right? That's money you're not putting into your kid's college fund. So when people are wealthy, become wealthy, it's because of thoughtfulness with their money. They're being intentional in how they spend it. They don't just blithely spend it on things that don't matter, right? Do you see where I'm going with this? So I just want you to continue listening to my videos because I hope to subtly sort of brainwash you into a new way of thinking if you're not already like-minded. So stick with me and check out the other videos where we just talk about things like, because most of this, it's really all up here, how you spend your money. You don't have to be a whiz at investing. You really don't. But you need to have money left over to invest. And the older we get, the less time we have. And I hope I am scaring you when I say that, because you never know when you're going to have to stop working. If you lose your job, it's not that easy to find another one when you're older. I hate to say it, but it is absolutely the truth. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.